Today is 887 day that I'm here to lessons I learn. I'm learning. I hope this will support your dreams, your goals, allow you to become the person that you want to become. Today I speak about the topic mean more by saying less. Mean more by saying less. Such a powerful statement. Mean more by saying less. I think that a lot of times we want to explain and share and share and share and share, and we want to share all the details, all the stories, but sometimes those stories and details doesn't matter. What matters is the bottom line. Really, what is the essence of the thing that you want to share? And sometimes we don't need to really share 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Sometimes you just need to share one idea, and that one idea could transform everything for a person. So I think sometimes we need to ask how we can really crystallize the idea that we have, how we can crystallize the topic. Because I know that a lot of times I share 15, 20 minutes, but do we need to really speak for 15 minutes about the topic that someone could really get in maybe 3 minutes? And I think that this is very beautiful. Sometimes you need a lot of time to really crystallize. So when you get in the next level in communication, you're able to mean more by saying less because you know what matters, what don't. Because if you do not know what matters, what don't, then you start to really communicate and bring everything out and you hope that something will stick. And I think that I'm still in that stage in my communication that I just over communicate, over deliver with words, and those words are not relevant and safe. So I will be working very hard to understand that how we could really mean more by saying less. And today we'll share 10 things that we're able to really look into how we can mean more by saying less, that we don't need to communicate as much. We don't need to say 10,000 or 10,000 words, but we're able to say maybe a couple of words and really mean much more. So number one is listening more. Sometimes when we really need to mean more, you don't need to say anything at all. Because by listening intently, you are showing that you care. Because sometimes you can potentially say, "Oh, I care about you. I really want the best for you." And saying those words maybe could be nice, but being able to listen properly to other person and not saying anything, any advice, and not saying anything at all, sometimes could show for other person that you care about that person much more than trying to really solve their problem. Because I love that there's a saying that there's two levels of communication. One is emotional communication, another is logical communication. And a lot of times when someone is sharing their problems, they are communicating with emotions. But now when you try to solve the problem, so you come up with a logic. So that means that there will be miscommunication because persons sharing emotions and you share logic, and there is a mismatch. So that means being able to listen and come back with emotions as well is one of the ways that you really mean more by saying less. Number two is non-verbal communication. This is very powerful as well. That means that a lot of times if someone is communicating with you but you still have your phone in your hand and you're scrolling on the phone when someone is sharing, even though that you do not say anything, but you really communicate a lot. You communicate something else is much more important than that someone who is sharing their ideas. And I think that when we're able to really sit down and look into other person, look into their eyes, and really spend time to listen and nod and really engage with a nonverbal communication, it shows so much more than again such saying that, oh, I listening to you, yeah, like, no, you're just basically showing with your eyes and with your body language that I'm engaging with you, I'm listening and nodding and really show the example. Of course, this is one of the things that really it means more by saying less because you're able to communicate with your body as well. Number three is simplicity. And a lot of times we need to really use minimalistic way of communicating. But that means that sometimes we use very complex words, complicated ideas. But what we need to do is simplify. Because when you get to the expert level, you're able to make complex things simple. But a lot of times when we want to see experts, we make simple things complex, and other people not able to understand, and you feel superior by communicating very complex things. But I think that I learned that, and I'm still learning that people who are able to explain in very simple words something that's very complex, and you find like, oh, finally got it, finally understood what they were saying. I think that is the highest level of communication. That means that mean more by saying less. And that means being able to say simple things, saying complex things, but in a very simple way that even the most dumb people are able to understand. That's very powerful. It's not easy. It's very, very hard to really make sure that you explain very complex things in a simple way. Because there's a saying that I don't know who said it, but I think that Einstein, that if you're not able to explain something to a 5-year child, that means that you do not understand the topic enough yet, because you need to be able to explain that. Number 4 is apologies. Mean more by saying less. That means that sometimes the only thing that you need to do, say, I am sorry, I screwed up, and I will never do it again. That's it. No more communication. No more words. Because like, oh, I missed this because I this and this and this happened, this and this happened, and I tried it, blah, 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 blah. And there's so much words coming out, and those words doesn't help other person anyways. Those excuses doesn't help. Those justifications doesn't help. So mean more by saying less is just saying, I'm sorry, I messed up. That's on me. And I will never do it again. This is my lesson learned. And that's it. I'm guilty of this as well. I used to always try to show excuses to really show that I didn't. This is not my full fault, but always was my fault. This I didn't prepare enough to really make sure that I didn't mess up. This was my mistake, and I learned a lesson, and I will do next time better. And really mean more by saying less is just really being accept that you made a mistake and say sorry for that. Number 5 is leadership. Mean more by saying less. I love this saying that Simon Sinek says that leaders speak last. They allow other people to really communicate, share their ideas, and then leader just needs to say that, oh yeah, I love your idea, and let's execute. Even though that leader maybe came up with that idea even sooner, faster, and he knew that idea and he wanted that idea. But now, like, because the team shared their ideas and someone shared a very similar idea, and you allowed them to really to crystallize the idea, now you're able to appreciate their ideas. You appreciate their growth because they will implement what they've created. And I think that the mean more by saying less is that when a leader doesn't say as much because he listens and he just adjusts if something is not right. And this is again, leadership is very, very important because leaders need to communicate in the most effective way. Because if something emergent comes up, we need to execute much more. We don't need to speak. We don't need to really go over communication. No, we need to execute. So very clear, concise message, mean more by saying less, is essential for leadership role. Number 6 is problem solving. That means that a lot of times when we solving problems, we are discussing so many different ideas, what we could do. I think sometimes we just need to really sit down and reflect. I feel not say anything, just really like every single person in the team that's able to say like, let's really sit for a while and let's ponder for a second and let's don't rush in it. Let's not jump in that because a lot of times we just jump in with a one good idea how to solve problem. But what I learned from one of my mentors is that a lot of times when you really find a good idea to solve a problem, that's the worst idea to solve it because it's good. And a good idea that's most people settle for. So when you find good idea, you're just like, okay, that's a good idea. That's worst case scenario. I could do that to solve my problem. That's worst case scenario. I could do that. That means I'm content with this solution. But let's sit down and ponder for a second. What is the great idea? What is the great solution to solve this problem? But it means mean more by saying less is being able to really sit down, not communicate about that one good solution, but really being able to really dig in a little bit more, and find that great solution to solve a problem. This is a massive. And I think that is, I would not emphasize enough how important it is really to, when you find a good idea, just say that, okay, I will put that aside, and I will dig a little bit even more. Number 7 is some kind of art or some kind of ideas that some kind of pictures that you are able to tell so many. And there's a saying that one picture could say more than 1,000 words. One picture could say more than 1,000 words. And that could be the painting, could be a picture, it could be some kind of drawing. That means that sometimes we don't need to say it. Sometimes we're able to communicate by leaving a note to a coworker, to a loved one. I really appreciate you, what you did yesterday. That really helped my day, that improved my day, that made my day. The thing that the way how you communicated that was amazing. That like, some kind of compliment, what they did specifically. Compliments needs to be very, very specific. Not that you did a great job. You did a great job never gives the best outcome. But when you're able to be very, very specific about other person and appreciate it and show appreciation by giving a picture, acknowledgement, appreciation, or like there's so many small things that you can do that really communicates wonders. Because small tap on the shoulder saying that you did an amazing job is masterfully important. Like it's like I truly believe that one encouragement could really move somebody for months on a very high end energy. Number 8 is friendship. Really being present. Mean more by saying less. Again, this sometimes you don't need to do a lot of things for your friends, but being present, fully present when you have friends or like maybe a loved one, that being able to be fully present shows that you are in love with that person, or maybe you are in really close friendship with that person. Because if you're not able to be fully present, that means that you communicate that there's something more important than this is our communication, that our relation, that our time. Something is more important. I think that's why this is part of the mean more said by saying less. So when you're able to be fully present, when other person feels that there is nothing else besides this communication right now, it's a massive communication that I care about you, I love you, I know that I want to nurture this relationship, and this is very, very important. Number 9 is nature. I think that a lot of times we really looking for ways where to improve, share, like seminars, podcasts, conferences, and everything that there's a lot of movement, a lot of communication. Mean more by saying less is sometimes is just really being yourself, to really detach from all that more and more and more. And sometimes we need to less and less and less. And we go into a nature to explore ourselves, self-reflect, because when we reflect, what happens? That means that you declutter all the things that more. And you focus and you grab those few things that is less, that is very important. So when you're able to be in nature, you internalize all the ideas. So that means that at that moment, all the things that you potentially could like communicate too many things, now you communicate only things that really cleared out from all those less things that you really gather that is very, very important for you. Not just all the clutter. So it's very, very important to really spend some time by yourself in nature to self-reflect, analyze, and really declutter your thoughts, that you could really mean more by saying less, because when you say something, you know that you truly mean that, not just thinking through that yet. And the last one is number 10 is spirituality. It just means that it does a lot of spirituality means a lot of different people, different things, but like meditation, prayer, like some kind of moments of silence and real introspection in yourself, some kind of faith and connection that you're able to really find a way how you can mean more by saying less. Because I think a lot of times when you really include yourself in that spirituality and really find that there's much more than you. I think that when you're able to let go the ego, when you're able to let go a lot of things that are just slowing you down, you're able to really start focusing on major things. That's why I believe in faith, and that's why I love faith, because you understand that you are just a small, beautiful thing that there's so much more outside of you, and you don't see yourself too important. You see as you love yourself, but you don't see yourself too important. So that means that your ego are in check. You are humble enough to really learn, improve, get better, and really start attracting amazing things in your life, because you know that you deserve it, and every single person deserves amazing things. And I think that that's a beautiful thing when we need to learn that Mean more by saying less. Mean more by saying less. And I think that we need to really reflect what that truly means in your life. How often do you really share so many things and you put on a table like everything? Everything is in your plate. Maybe it's a time to really declutter your plate and remove multiple things from your plate. That is only a few things that really matters is in your plate. So I hope you will choose to win and see you tomorrow.